I mean, personally, I'm really liking VnM's lineup, but it's going to be a very, very close game, Brett.
Okay.
And with both teams starting out, they're pushing forward to capture the first flags. Like we said, they're going to be starting straight away, and we can see a huge force running to Bravo, hopefully trying to lock that down while CS favors the center of the map control here, pushing towards Charlie.
Yeah, we're going to be starting out on board with Dios here. He is going to be using a medic kit, and I would imagine we're going to be seeing quite a few medics overall on this map, as they are obviously going to be extremely useful, keeping your team up and alive on specific flags. It does look like we are going to be seeing C going over into the favor right now of CS right away. And the action so far, not too crazy. It does look like two players are going to be falling over here on VeNoM as they do try and get control of this B site. Jordy now on screen. He is going to try and hold this down from some long-range shots with that KE7. And he will not be able to get any kind of kills there, as he does have to go ahead and back on up. But we got about a 3-man push or so that's going to be coming in onto this Bravo side. Still going to be heavily contested. On the other side of the map, still looks like we haven't seen a cap on that one just yet. But ooh, a little bit of a flank coming down. Jordy is not able to stay up and alive. He doesn't going down. Tribe is going to be on the other side of that particular side of the map. And then it also looks like Mixed is going to be getting picked up as well. So nice little shots are going to be coming in from CS here as they slowly but surely starting to whittle down over here onto this B site.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, VnM started off very, very strong. They had the high ground. They had the top control of B. But, you know, when a team like CS pressures you one way with two players, you can always guarantee there's going to be another 2 or 3 pressuring the other sides here. And that's what we saw. And Jordy couldn't quite keep up. I mean, the 3 times in the K7 is a really good option, holding down those lanes on the high ground. He just needed to connect here. We see Spartan coming in with a 2-piece, and that's the kind of play that you can expect to see from CS moving forward. They push in, they get at least 2 pieces before they go down, they get those positive trades, and as you can see, Bravo has now switched to them, and they still maintain that C control. VnM in a bit of a tough spot right now, Brett.
Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to pull out of this. Ooh, nice little long shot there from Jimmy, as he will be able to pick up one, trying to transition from that Bravo flag. But Charlie is now going to be getting flashed. And like I said, this is going to be a really weird map, I think, to play. As it's not going to be very linear. Teams are going to be kind of getting mixed-matched in a really strange way. I would imagine clusters are going to be pretty common here on this particular map as well. But so far, we do have a little bit of tank-on-tank action. And let's go on to board right here with Jay Faro, as he is getting a couple of shots in on the CS squad. I think he's actually alone right now. I don't really see anybody with him, as we do see Ancient Exodio starting to pull up just a little bit here. Now, this could be dangerous right here, as, ooh, nice. He's going to be able to get that first shot off. Looking for that second one. Does he have anybody actually to help out? It does have a teammate that just went down, so no reps for either of these tanks. And this is just a slugfest right now, but 64 health is going to be left up for Exodia. And Jay Frau is going to go ahead and back on up. He should have a teammate here to help him out in just a few seconds. But you can see on Devastation right now just how hard it is to maneuver on this map. And oh no, he misses that shot. We'll finally be able to get a nice little 30 damage onto the turret there. But yeah, it does look like they are going to go ahead, break away, and the tanks are going to go their own way. They're going to be like, okay, that's fine. We exchanged some blows. Let's go ahead and heal up, and we'll go at it again.
Yeah, and that's it. And when you're playing against like tankers like J-Fro there, you could see he wasn't overzealous. He wasn't, you know, being too aggressive, knew when to pull out. And that seems to be his job right now, is to just hold that D lane and prevent infantry from coming in. Because that tank can be a real menace and a real sort of... You don't really want to push against that kind of thing. And Exodia doing the right thing, pushing up, being aggressive, forcing him back a little bit, maybe give his teammates some room to move. Unfortunately, nothing happened with that. And J-Fro again, already back up, chasing Exodia all the way back to his spawn flag there on the alpha site. And J-Fro is just being a right menace, hitting these guys straight off the spawn. Absolutely rips Chap off of the revive here. And this is going to be crucial if VnM want to hold this C point. If they can control this area in front of the church by the tracks, they're going to be in for a nice long camping session in C.
Absolutely. So heading on over here towards this B flag, though, as I did want to see it. It was getting contested there for just a little bit, but Jordy is going to be making his way around over here onto the flank. He's going to spot out a couple of players trying to transition into the backside. We'll be able to get some shots into one, but can't quite get the kill on him just yet, and his squad is going to be very, very low. Jordy does get taken down. and we are going to be seeing that C flag fairly open for the time being. We do have some players just kind of straight out over here at the Delta. This is a flag we haven't visited just yet, and that's going to be a nice little cleanup there. So Delta looks like it is going to stay in the hands right now of VnM CS, looking pretty decent overall. But yeah, so one of the things that I do want to point out on the vehicle, at the very least, was the fact that we have a full squad set up on JFro, as on the other side, we actually only have just one repper with that tank. And I think that's really coming into effect here, as it's allowing, like I said before, that tank to be a really, really good spawn point. And when you don't have that full squad, that ability to have those 2 extra players spawning in on you, it's really hard to not be overwhelmed by the other team.
Yeah, exactly. And to be able to pop down like 2 or 3 assaults who can whack out those Panzerfaust and just put that extra damage in, it can make such a huge difference in those tank battles moving forward into the game here. And I mean, what VnM are doing really nicely, they split off into these nice little pockets, these nice little squads, and they're moving around as a bit of a team to hopefully kind of seal club and get those trades that they need. And JFro's using that to his advantage. He's just moving between those squads as he goes along, so he's always got that infantry support moving forward. And we see here we're on with Chap, one of the bigger players of the series here. He's kind of locked in that A flag. He can't move out anywhere. JFro's just locking him out. And he is one of the bigger players that we can expect to see pushing out here. And it's not going too well. And as we see, Nico's going to put a bit of pressure on. Gets a 12 hit. Not really too much you can do there. But that Valentine, really well maneuverable. Nice fast rotating turret. And you can see JFro just reversing that thing through buildings and doorways like it's second nature to him. So that's going to be a big thing. And chasing that tank back is going to give CS some breathing room that they very much need right now.
Yeah, you know, one of the other things too is that when JFro was pushed up there, he gave his team almost the entire lockdown of Delta and Charlie in a way that you know, the infantry just could not. That tank is the roadblock, and nothing can get by him. That's really, really powerful when you can basically just have 1 to 2 players in a way controlling half of the map, and that kind of frees up the rest of your team to really do some damage elsewhere. But at the moment, Chap is going to be making his way over here towards Delta. This is going to be a squad push coming on in. Now they do have to deal with JFro, who has backed up towards the entrance of D, and it will be interesting to see if they can actually make it through. Chap is going to be able to find one with the long range shots. He has that health pack right next to him, so this is a fairly defensible position for them to have. If that tank gets a little bit aggressive, though, it could spell a little bit of disaster. But right now, not going to be able to do much. I like the C4 is going to be coming out, though. Is it going to be able to connect with anything? It does. Really good hits happening over on JFro, but JFro, he doesn't even care, man. He's just going straight on in. He's going to be able to pick up one, picks up a second one. His infantry players coming in around him, but he is so low, down to 17 health. He has to go. Oh, no. We have a bit of a flank coming down. This is going to be Exodia on a very weak JFro. He's trying to get some reps in, but right now we need some help from some infantry players to try and bring this tank down the rest of the way. Those repair tools extremely strong in this situation. And oh no, Exodia, he might actually be in the bad position now, as he's down to 69 health. He has his own repairman coming back in, but he's quickly going to get flanked here in just a few moments. JFro does end up going down, so this is going to be a win, as a huge crew of CS will be able to come up, put pressure in onto that C flag. But is it worth losing your own tank in the process? Right now, Exodio looks like he will be able to survive, but man, it was just by the skin of his teeth there.
Yeah, and that was an amazing play there. They really needed to get that tank in to hit JFro. They needed to crack that nut there so they could get into the flag. But nothing much came of it, unfortunately. Those CS boys pushed in, and VnM infantry retreated back into the building. They knew Zodia had to retreat. He had pressure on him as well, and they were able to defend and push that position back. And that's something that VnM does very, very well. And as you can see, they've lost C. They are contesting it slightly, but they immediately bounce back, hit B as well, because they know CS are getting wiped. Just look at the scoreboard right now. We've got red dominating things, and I think CS are under so much pressure right now. They're trying to be everywhere at once, and VnM are just using that to their advantage. They're moving in those groups of 3 or 4, if you haven't noticed. They're getting the trades, they're getting the clubs. CS spread way too thin, and that whole period where JFro was sat in the front really allowed that break to happen for CS, and VnM are just taking full advantage of it.
Yeah. Rubber Switch is now going to be inside that C flag. They did just lose this site a little while ago, but you know, we haven't really seen VeNM having too much issue in that Charlie site. So for them to actually, you know, kind of have some struggling here on these kills is going to alleviate a little bit of pressure. But we do see Rubber Switch though. He's going to go ahead and back on out. A little bit of contention going to be going down, but not too awful much. Where is going to be mixed with a nice little flank here. Now, he is going to be using a sniper class here on the recon. Not really sure which gun this is, but it is an SLR. Dummies are actually going to be used. Don't know if that was just a mistake. Maybe he's used to using something else, but I don't know. Dummies in competitive play. Do you think that can actually work?
I mean, very, very situational. I think it's used as more as a bit of a deployable cover, because that's going to at least save you from the 1 or 2 shots that are coming your way. And if I'm not mistaken, the dummies spot the people who shoot them as well. So if it's a similar situation to Battlefield 1, I haven't really seen them a lot in comp and what goes on. So that's a really good option to get around the ban of the spotting flare with the sniper class.
You know, I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right. That's actually pretty clever. So yeah, you're right. It does kind of get around the fact that your flares can go down if they do shoot the dummy. Well, you're gonna get spotted anyway. So pretty cool stuff there. We are going to be having, it looks like Braveheart going to go ahead and push in onto the C site. Is going to be using that Lewis gun. And I think we've only seen KE7s and the Lewis gun actually being used. No bars, actually, which I was kind of surprised. I know a lot of people on PC were lacking the bar quite a bit, but seems to kind of fallen out of favor.
Yeah, I mean, I saw 1 bar kill earlier, but it's definitely dominated by those K7s, those Lewis guns. Kind of those guns with the low recoil that you can hit people at range with. And especially the Lewis gun, it seems to be a favor for a lot of the MMG players here. I know Tribe Jimmy is, when he plays the 5v5s, Lewis gun is his default when he plays the support class here. And you can see Braveheart is doing an amazing job with it as well. Just running forward, locking down those long lanes, and keeping those assaults out of arm reach. And here we go, Kantaro in this kill feed here with the bar. Must be doing really good work there. You almost use it as a part, like an aggressive support class here. You run in, you unload the few rounds that you've got. Hip fire tends to be a really good thing with the bar. And yeah, so it's doing well for him. He's picked up another kill there as well. Yeah, I mean, you can't really fault some of the MMGs in the game, especially the ones that aren't restricted in ESB.
Absolutely. Well, it does look like the tanks are going to be back up and running. So I do want to see where JFro is actually positioning himself. Looks like he is going to be going up on C, and he does have a squad that is going to be coming up right behind them. So they may be looking to put a lot of pressure here onto that Charlie flag.
Yeah, and I mean, he's keeping his distance. He knows where he doesn't need to be. He's just holding down that one side, allowing his infantry to flood in around the side of him and hopefully push in and break Charlie now. But I think they're more concerned with just keeping them contained in Charlie. They don't need it. They've got Delta. They've got Bravo. They've got the points coming in. They've got nearly a 90-point lead on the board here. And JFro's more than happy to just take a few hits, you know, get a few kills on the way. And yeah, we really need Zodia to push in and knock JFro off of that lane, push him back towards Delta, and give those boys in Charlie some breathing room for CS. And that looks like he's kind of doing. He's taking out the infantry. JFro's just down the road here. But both tankers playing is very, very cautious right now, focusing on those infantry kills and denying each other the area to move.
That they are. I do like the fact, though, that we're seeing some usage of mines. Mines, you know, back in the day, I do remember mines were never really meant to kill the tanks. They were just meant to kind of slow them down. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing, some really good usage coming out of them for now. 487 tickets to 589. We should be getting down to that very, very last state. Remember, it's 300 tickets that would drain down to end out this match. But Jordy right now is going to be set up over here onto that Bravo site. We do have a squad of CS who are going to be making their way into it. See if he can actually get that first kill. There's C4 coming down. Takes a bit of damage. We'll see if he's going to be able to clean this up. Nice little job there, taking down Spartan. Looking for a 2. Not going to be able to find him, but he is going to eventually go down. We do hear that there is a tank fight that's going to be going down right now. And yeah, that's going to be Jay Faro with the kill. This is the last second. We caught 2 guys going down. Looking for a 3rd. It looks like they will be able to successfully pick up the armor again. But, you know, here's my thing, right? This is the second time that we have seen the second engagement that we've seen from the tanks. Do you think that the tanks have made that big of a deal, especially since JFro was gone for quite a while and really nothing happened for CS? So it's almost like these tanks are, at the very least, not for VeNOM, but for CS, not really doing much.
Yeah, I mean, my personal preference, I'm a big fan of the smaller game modes. I like to see the infantry really showing their skill in those 1-on-1 fights, those 1-on-2 engagements. To me, the tank is kind of like you just park a big brick wall on a lane, so you can stack more infantry around on other parts of the map here, and that's definitely the way it goes. And don't get me started on the planes when we get to Hamada there, but it's I don't think they make too much of an impact. I think if you remove the tanks, you would see pretty much near enough the exact same game.
Yeah. Well, it does look like Tribe Jimmy is going to be up on top of this Bravo flag still. He is on a one-man mission. It looks like there's about 6 people around him. A guy actually just jumped on top of him. He said, hey, this is my spot, buddy. What are you doing? Only able to pick up 1, though. That was unfortunate. Would have loved to have seen him get maybe 3 or 4 kills there in that situation. But you got to love those kinds of spots, man, where these teams, they've kind of found little hidey holes, but not able to do much there in that situation. Mixta is going to be able to pick up 1, it looks like. With his SLR. Rubber Switch is going to be able to take down another one on a B, and this is a flag that's been going back and forth, but it looks like VeNOM is going to be able to secure it.
Yeah, and something that's definitely been used a lot in this map is the canisters, those support canisters coming down, giving heals to those players that wouldn't otherwise have them, especially when the medics aren't around to give them, because challenging someone with 100 health can make all the difference here. We see Ruba coming in, picks up 1, can't finish up the second one there, as we see Spartan getting the revive on that player. And CS doing a really good job defending B, but all the pressure's on them right now. It's 438, they're over 100 tickets behind. B is their only flag, and VeNOM are just keep piling on the pressure.
Yeah, now we're going to be over here for Tribe Jimmy, as he's going to be setting up for a push coming in from that Delta flag into Charlie. Looks like they are going to be set up pretty nicely so far. B, like I said before, very hotly contested. Not going to see anybody pushing onto it just yet. 430 though, the 568. So we are looking at about 130 ticket advantage so far for VeNOM. They're looking really, really good here, guys. As Charlie flag now going to be getting pushed in on from both sides. And you do see both of the tanks that are going to be up right now. But again, not really going to be expecting too much on this particular flag here in the middle. Nice little pick up there. That's going to be Agony. We'll be able to take down 1 with that Tommy gun. And possibly a really big flurry is going to be going down here on top of C. Lots of smokes, a lot of concealment is going to be going down. Tries to get the turnaround, will be able to pick up Jordy. Looks for the second one, can't quite connect with that shot though, as he is going to get picked up. His teammate Dios though is trying to get that long range shots. Actually using, what is this one? It's not the MP18, but he is a slower rate of fire. No, this is the ZK. And he is going to be able to do some work with it. Picks up another one, but will eventually go down. ZK is not one that we've actually seen used too awful much here. It seems like it's lost a lot of favorability, especially to that Tommy gun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why would you... It's like having the Sten in reality. You got that slow rate of fire. Hip fire is absolutely on point. But why would you have that when you can have the Tommy gun? You've got a huge magazine, a fast firing weapon that's absolutely devastating at those mid and short ranges, as we see many players show in this game so far. And they're just not able to compete, and you need something like that playing a team like VeNOM, when you know that one guy is going to become 2, 3, 4 guys very, very quickly. And Agony is finding that out sooner or later. He picks off 1, instantly the balcony gets lit up by 2 others, and he's forced to have to retreat. But he's going to be pushing in. He's trying to hopefully get the flank round. We're jumping on to Naxo here, who's looking to capture Bravo. CS all but abandoned the Bravo flag here. It's going to be a triple cap as they move forward. But yeah,
so that right there is that is going to be the end of the game. So you can see right now they're going to cap. Hey, so congratulations there. We'll get the final ticket count from the admin, but it does look like it was a pretty clear-cut win from VeNOM. They have 561 tickets, so they're looking at a 150-plus advantage game going into round number 2, and that's a pretty substantial amount of tickets there.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when you're playing like kind of your opposite team here, both these teams at the top of their game right now, some really awesome players. Having that amount of tickets moving in to sort of the next round when it comes to like the proper leagues as well is going to be huge. Because what, 100 odd tickets? That's a big ask. That's a big ask.
So it looks like it's going to be a 164 ticket advantage for VeNM going into round number 2. And yeah, I almost say that that's going to be a near impossibility to come back from, especially with how well VnM was playing in their infantry styles. Let's take a look right now at the scoreboard while we have that time. We got Rubber Switch throwing down 27-11, 27-12 there for Giorgito, 22-14 for Jordy, 20-10 there for Jukes. Where is J-Fro, though? 16-2. So not quite the impact that I would expect. And Ancient Exodio only 10-2. So, you know, it seemed like a lot of the damage that J-Fro did was right there at the beginning of the match when we were watching him. And Exodia just kind of really didn't have that big of an impact. He did take down, with some help, J-Fro. But after that, he just kind of was in the back of the map. So kind of disappointed to see that happening out of your vehicles. On the other side, though, we have a 21-10 there for Chap, 21-14 for Skyway Jam. And overall, just not a whole lot of good fragging happening on the team of CS.
Yeah, and I think if you look at VeNM, a lot of the kills are very even. We're talking double digits on a lot of these guys here, at least above the 15 mark. And that really comes down from that sort of almost Zerg rush mentality where you have those 4 guys, you absolutely run forward and you get those trades in and you get those revives. CS were very fragmented. You saw a lot of the time when they were in their engagements, they shot down the one guy and immediately 2 or 3 VeNM guys were on top of them, getting the trades. And I think that's what made that 160 ticket difference. The tanks, in my opinion, made... if you took them out, you would have seen near enough the exact same result.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. But wow, yeah, really, really good plays coming in so far for VeNM. I have to say, if they keep that up, they should be locking this map down, no problem. I do think that there is a possibility if we see a very early push coming in for a 3-cap, and they can kind of get them on the other side of the church, that there is a way for them to actually make a comeback onto this map. Now, of course, that B flag is going to be really, really hard to hold from it being a B because they are going to be swapping sides. So VeNM is going to have a fairly covered push going into Bravo, and you do have those buildings that you have to clear out constantly. But you know, if they can at least keep it contested at all times, keep that 2 flag burn, and then keep that 3rd one contested at all times, then there is a possibility that they could end up coming back. But VeNM, I think, is just in too much of a strong position here going into round number 2. Speaking of classes, we talked about some recons being used. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3 recons that are being used at the very least on VeNM side. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's a smartish move, especially in a map like this where you've got those long, narrow lanes. And we saw a lot. I think we saw 1 or 2 playing the long game here, and then we saw, you know, who was that playing really up close, really up and aggressive there, using the dummies inside of the church side with the SLR, and he was picking up kills. And I think the big thing with the snipers is you won't see them with a lot of kills, but their assists are going to be through the roof. You know, 2 shots into the body, it's going to leave them 1 shot for the main force that is going to come through and just absolutely roll over the players in front of them. And I think that's the key point of having the recon in sort of these game modes.
Now, as far as the recon goes, I believe I'm trying to go over our rules here, but I believe that the sniper, what is it? The sniper variation is not allowed. Am I correct on that one?
Well, I mean, as long as it's not a tidal war weapon that isn't able to be purchased yet, then
no, I'm talking about the what do they call it? Like they've been forgotten. It's the variation of like your class. So you have 2 of them. So like for the sniper, they have the one where if you shoot the guy, he's actually tagged up.
Okay.
But I'm not really seeing that in the ban list here. So that's interesting. If that is allowed, then, you know, I could definitely see where recons would really come into their own, because basically every person that you shoot, they get spotted.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of information is key in this kind of game. When you've got recon on his own and you see 2 or 3 guys beaming him, trying to get the kill off very, very quickly and, you know, trying to get that trade off, That's 2 guys instantly spotted, and the rest of your team are going to go straight into that one.
Does look like we are going to be getting going here in about 30 seconds or so, and should be a very, very, very fun match here to end this out for our very first map of the day. I do want to mention too that reinforcements the only reinforcements that can be called in are the canister drop and the smoke barrage. So we're not going to be seeing any of the abilities to actually do any damage or kill any of these players. But really didn't see any of them used at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, Smoke didn't see it at all, but VeNM and CS were calling in those canisters very, very often, especially when they were making pushes. They pushed in, canisters immediately came down. Those guys were full health when the counterattack game. And yeah, as we kick off, we're going to see a very different approach from VeNM going straight in for Charlie. They were kind of predicting that push that CS were probably going to do if that was their favor, but CS going for Bravo instead. And I definitely think VeNM having that mid-map control is going to cause CS massive amounts of problem. You can't give VeNM the mid-map where they can just pendulum from left to right throughout the game, because that's how they got bit in the arse earlier.
Well, so far it does look like VeNM only going to be able to pick up one flag for the time being, but Jfro doing a decent job here of pushing up. Interesting to see him just going straight over here towards this flank flag. He is getting a couple of shots from behind. Hey, that's going to be his buddy Exodia, and he is going to be getting quite a bit of damage down on him. He's up to 71 health. He's already used his quick repair, which means that if he does get too much damage coming in, he is going to go down to 35 health. He's taking players with him, though, in this situation, and I got to say, this is very, very rough here. If we do see, yeah, Ancient Exodia is not in a place to actually pursue. Very curious. Like, I would have almost thought that would have been worth him going in for that kill, but no, Jfro, he's going to be up to 100% right now, and this is looking like a very precarious situation. Although, to be honest with you, Jfro was actually in this very spot in the last game, just on the other side of the map. So very interested to see if he's going to be able to pull this out. Exodia, though, he's going to be able to come around, gets that first shot on him. Boom. That's going to be a beautiful shot. Picks up a second one. Yes, he does. Unfortunately, that first shot, and I don't know how, was going... Oh, my clear is going to be out. 3-4 players are going to get hit. And also going to be seeing massive damage coming in onto the tank. This is huge. Exodia takes a bit of damage, 42 health, but 28 here for Jfro. Not seeing them getting pursued, but on the other side, we do have Ancient Exodia getting shot from behind. So this is just some pretty crazy stuff that's happening right now from both of these tanks and these tank crews.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at how many players are being exchanged. That first one with Jfro took down at least 5 or 6 there, straight out of the game. They were all gunning for him. And then the complete same happened with Exodia. And that mine clearing really did a massive amount of damage there. Those infantry were running towards him with the dynamite, and he was able to shut that down straight away and chase Jfro off. But
you know, the sad part is happening. He did a lot of damage. He got a lot of kills, but in the end, his tank still went down, and Jfro is still up and alive, like you would have expected him when he actually did that action, when he was able to put in that much damage, that something positive would have happened for him. But instead, I'm not saying he got pretty much the bad end of that stick right there.
Oh, most certainly, and that's the kind of thing that infantry support really put the damage on, and that's what's allowed Jfro to kind of, you know, put more hurt on. That first shot was kind of, I mean, that was typical dice for you there, really. Only 14 damage on an underbelly shot like that. I mean, come on, guys. But as you can see, CS are fighting back. They're recapping Bravo, and VeNM are sort of on the back foot here as they are about to lose the lead that they once had. You know, 40 tickets can go down very, very quickly. And I think VeNM need to react fast because CS are about to get that triple cap in.
Yes, they are, and this is what we talked about before. They need to get that 3 cap. They need to be able to hold it down, and we are going to be seeing the VeNM players starting to fall one by one. Now they're going to be back over here next to that Charlie flag, but B is definitely going to be going over into the favor right now of this CS squad. We do see Spartan up top. He's going to be able to spot out too. Not going to be able to get the kills on either of them, but he is going to be surrounded by a squad here. Don't know if he's going to be staying up here or trying to go down for the engagement. His teammates do need to spawn back in, so he could be waiting for those two players, but he decides to jump down into a hail of fire. Yeah, that wasn't the best thing to do, as Chovy is trying to get a little fancy there. I don't know if he was panicking or what, but pulls out the knife. And buddy, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. I'm sorry, but this isn't Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, it could have worked out nicely for him, but the key point there was to stay alive at the top. He was holding up so many players who couldn't push onto the Charlie flag there because they were too afraid of the guy on the organ balcony. But, you know, he decided to, teammates spawned in, he thought he was going to be reckless, jumped down, immediately got gunned down by people who are aware of him, and it didn't go his way. We've seen VnM now recapping Charlie. They're pushing through. They're holding this off. Geordie trying to do his best here. Facing this guy on the other side of the pillar. Smoke's come out. Unfortunately, he just nicks the guy, but no source there. So Geordie doing a good job pushing them back. But
you know, at this point in time, you know, for VnM here, I don't think that they really need to push this. They just need to drag these tickets down. So, you know, stay alive on the flag, prevent them from getting the burn. If you don't get the kills and they're still not, you know, outnumbering you on the flag, who cares? You know, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to keep that flag in your own possession. And, you know, like what we said with the 8v8 stuff, you know, it's all about time. If you can soak down more and more time than the other team with the majority of the flags, you're going to win the game. That's just plain and simple. It's just the way it's going to happen. And Geordie right now trying to go back and forth with an individual up top over here towards that B flag. We'll have to go ahead and back on out using his med kit, but does look like for the most part CS has kind of dispersed from Bravo. They're not going to be pushing up through this middle section, but they are going to be waiting here patiently for this. But ooh, there's some dynamite there actually on the corner. I don't know if the player who set that is actually alive, but that would be a really sweet time to blow it, and he's not. So Geordie does end up going down. His teammates are going to try and follow that back up with the kill. Does look like Mixto will be able to take him out. Rubber Switch though on the other side of the map, we have a hell of a lot of action going down. He is going to be able to pick up one, throwing in that grenade with the second one. Will be able to get the kill, almost blowing up a third. But a lot of players are going to be spawning in on the other side of this wall here, and yeah, Rubber Switch is going to have to back on up as it's just one man against an army. And I'm sorry, but sometimes you just got to call it quits. But he is going to be able to poke back in for another kill, and they do clear out that entire squad. That was 4 players that he was able to take out, and now he's looking for the tank kill. And J-Fro is going to have a little bit of help right now, as Exodia is going to be in a massive amount of trouble here. We do have some tank mines being thrown out, as it will cause some extra explosions, and I think that tank is going to die, and it does. Beautiful job there. J-Fro getting that last shot in, and will be able to finish it off. So no tank right now for CS. VnM looking fantastic, as they are going to be pushing back in onto this Delta flag. They have control of Charlie, and right now they have control of the lead in this game.
Yeah, and that was very crucial play there by CS. The tank was behind them, and they were trying to kind of hold these VnM guys off, pull as many people off the flag and get some guys on, but they didn't have enough. I think they underestimated how many players were going to be swarming onto Zodia right there, and J-Fro was in the right position at the right time to just finish it off. You know, Zodia couldn't do much, getting shot in the rear, getting shot from the side, and J-Fro straight down the middle managed to get the kill. You know, VnM doing a very good job. They now hold Charlie and Delta, and I think the play now is push them off of the Charlie flag, get a bit of a counterattack in, and keep the pressure up on Bravo so that you give the CS guys no room to move. And Ruba is having the game of his life right now. We've seen him on multiple occasions getting 1, 2, 3 kills, holding off flags on his own. And when he was with Lapra on that Delta flag, I mean, you just couldn't stop the pair.
Absolutely, and it does look like he is going to be able to push back a couple of players here on that C flag, just waiting for them to try and poke their head in. And there is 1, 2, 3 players on your mini map that have basically decided, you know what, we're going to go a different direction. So Mixta is going to be able to pick up Skyway. That's going to be a nice long range shot. Comes around the backside, picks up Chap as well. And he was going to be able to see his teammate dying there in front of him, but should be able to get the revive here very, very shortly. So fantastic job all around. They just clearing out this flag systematically. And we do see that Delta flag starting to get flashed just a little bit here. And we'll try and get over there towards it, as we do see, it looks like the tanker may be trying to go and position himself to where he can head off few of these infantry players possibly, but it does look like Cantura will be getting those repairs in. And you know what? Cantura here, he's 2-2, but he's keeping his tanker alive. So I give him props.
And I think that's the main point here. You've got your heavy Slayer players, you've got your anchor players, and then you've got your very much support players here who try and keep those big assets alive, those big presence on the battlefield alive. And unfortunately, it's not the most fun kind of gameplay, but it's the gameplay that wins. It's just a shame that CS can't keep up with the pressure on their tanks the same way VnM can. Because VnM just keep piling it on here. You know, no matter where Zodia goes, someone's on him with the Panzerfaust, taking him out here. They go for the repair guy straight away. Panzerfaust then come in, and he's forced to have to retreat back all the way back to his home flag. I mean, that's exactly where VnM want that tank to be. Back at the home flag, out the way, allowing J-Fro to have free reign of the battle.
You know, and that's something too that tankers, you know, really need to focus on with their squads is push as a squad. You know, you're not necessarily there to do all of the damage to the tank, but you know, you need to, at the very least, have those infantry players around you to have those Piats, not Piats. Piats are banned. Can't use a Piat, but those Panzerfausts, those mines, you know, those type of things to be able to create that extra damage.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we're going to be entering into sort of like the last kind of push for CS, really. They have to really contain and hold these Charlie and Bravo flags for, you know, 100 tickets here. Because if they don't, they're going to have some major issues moving in. And with a 160 ticket lead from VnM already, it's cutting it very, very close. But we see Spartan pushing in straight for Charlie, immediately rushing towards Delta to try and hit these guys that are moving for the counterattack. He sees one, gets a few shots off, hit fire coming in massively for him, taking down Controversial. And he's a train that just isn't going to stop. He's just going to keep pushing, and he's going to move on to a fairly uncontested Delta flag here.
Well, it does look like we have another tank fight that's going to be going down. J-Fro is going to be down to 60 health at the time. And it does look like Exodia is the only one left up in his squad to try and make any kind of a push. He's down to 26 health. He is going to have to go ahead and back on up. I think he already used his mine clearing to do some damage there, but he is going to go ahead and get out of dodge, both the tanks actually, and they should be A-okay here. So they little bit of a tiff there, but both of them agree that they want to stop fighting for the time being. Larpa is going to be back up, and he's kind of behind enemy lines here. He will be able to see any kind of reinforcements coming in from that Echo flag into Bravo. And does look like he's going to be making his way back. Oh, actually, we have some behind the lines over here. The tank is pushed way back here. I thought he was actually a little bit further up, but not going to be the case. Exodia is on the other side of the map over here next to that Delta flag. Charlie is going to be getting contested once again. Ho, ho, ho! Chovy there just dodging a rocket coming in. Now, if you want cinematic, that is definitely cinematic. But Chovy is going to be trying to defend this site. Does look like it is not going to be successful just yet, as that flag is going to be going down. Agony, though, making his way back in. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3 players that are going to be on the flag here for VnM. And CS is just trying to mitigate this damage that's going to be coming in. Look at the aggression that's going to be coming out from this medic. He comes right over the top. We'll be able to take him down. That was actually Kama with an STG.
Yeah, and that's the kind of playstyle that you can expect for these kind of teams. You know, hey, I've got 2, 3 guys behind me. This guy's stuck in the head glitch. Someone has to push. Wait for him to shoot teammates, run in, get the hit fire in, and hopefully teammates can pick up the trades from the revives. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way as Akane is back up here. The VnM push is halted on Charlie. Is CS going to be able to bring this round back? You know, they're holding on to Bravo. They're holding on to Charlie. J-Fro is busy gallivanting down the bottom end of the map there, allowing the CS infantry free reign to do whatever they need to do as they start to set up a bit of a defense here. And J-Fro just sitting on Delta, minding his own business.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much all but done. VnM have done a fantastic job so far. They're 572 to 505. They've had the lead for pretty much the entirety, I believe the entirety of this round, right? As they've just played really, really well. I mean, they've outplayed the other team the entire time in this match. Giorgito is going to be up. Spot out one, trying to get a little bit aggressive, but a pistol versus an STG, not quite going to work. Although Dice tried to make it that way in this last patch, but not the case anymore. As we will see Giorgito getting some nice little revives going down. And actually, there's going to be a little bit of an engagement here, as two players are going to be on the other side of the fence, and I think his entire squad didn't getting picked up there. Is the tank in a position to do some work? No, the tank actually is going to be getting a lot of damage coming in. C4 is going to be coming up. Not going to be able to actually set that off. And oh my God, Jfro, how are you alive right now? He finally does get picked up, but man, that was a lot of damage. On the other side of the map, though, we do see Larpa in a little bit of an engagement here with the tank as well. So both of these tanks are having some hit squads coming in on them. It looks like both of them, or I'm sorry, one of them will survive, while the other one, not so lucky. C-Flag is going to go into the possession of CS along with Bravo, but still going to be seeing it being heavily contested as it has been all game long. Nice job here from Kama. Will be able to push back a few players here onto that C entrance. A lot of smokes are going to be used. You know, I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen more smoke usage being used on Charlie. Like typically Charlie Flag, you can't see anything but smoke.
Yeah, but I think smoke is really good. It's really nice, but when you're playing against a team like VeNM or a team like CS, who've got some really good SMG players, who've got really good hipfire players, do you really want to start engaging these guys head on, face to face, when you can't even see them? And I think that's the play there. If you give them smoke and that cover, you know, you're also doing yourself in a little bit here as well. Mixter there with the Ruby.
With the Ruby?
Jeez.
What? He had a freaking Tommy gun and he just got owned by a Ruby. Wow, that's embarrassing. Sorry, but Chovy is going to be following it up with the kill of his own. Oh man, yeah, he's not going to like that part of the stream. Nice little headshot there. We'll be able to take down Junks, but we are now technically down below the count, and the match is over. And I think it's safe to say that VeNM has secured this game. They won round number 1 with 164 tickets. They currently have 535 in this second half, so they are looking just fantastic overall. I do want to take a look right here at the score, though. Just taking a look. Jfro, what? He must have heard me. He must have heard me. He was like, Brett, I heard you say that the tanks didn't do anything. 25-1. The man was on a tear, but you got to give props for Canturo, as he was 3-5, but definitely kept him up and kept him alive throughout a lot of those engagements. So props to him. But very, very good job from both of those tanks, the tank and the support class. And, you know, that's something that in Battlefield, especially in your bigger size battles, that's always important, is to have that really good teamwork between your tanker and your repairman, because they can really do some work together if they're on the same page. And I think this game right here, you definitely did see that coming into effect. 16-9, 18-9 there from Mixta and Jux. We are going to be seeing 17-10 there for Kama. So not some massive plays coming out in terms of kills. CS, though, on the other side, we had 18-9 there for Nico. 15 and looks like 9 there for Shady. So pretty decent scores on the other side, but they're just they just really didn't get onto the flags when they needed to.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, in CS's defense here, they were doing a really good job, and they have maintained a good sort of contested throughout sort of the whole game here. A lot better than the beginning of the round, where VeNM had, you know, total control in that first half. But I mean, they just can't compete with like Jfro. They're letting him just wander around, and we see when he gets in those engagements, he doesn't just pick off one guy or two guys. He picks off everyone that comes out his way, and he's absolutely unstoppable. And the infantry is backing up very, very nicely. And I think the defense that VeNM have done and the counterattacks they've been doing really reflects in the scoreboard that they're showing. A lot of these guys above that 15, 20 kill mark, and it's definitely making his impact known on the game.
Absolutely. So anyways, guys, I believe that is going to be it for this particular match. We're going to go ahead and get the go-ahead from our production here to confirm it with the admins. But yeah, right now I would have to say that we saw some really, really good plays coming out for both of these teams. Ultimately, VeNM was the better squad. And I think that while the tanks maybe didn't play a huge role in that first round, I think that JFro definitely did a good job here in this second map. And oh, nice little turnaround right here. As that's going to be Waron able to pick up 2 real quick kills with that Lewis gun, just snapping on him like crazy. And unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough. Too little, too late there. But yeah, I would have to say good job here to VnM, as they are still going to be heavily in the lead here.
Yeah, I mean, very well played by both sides. I mean, but VnM, like I say, just end up playing the better game at the end of it. They've been applying a massive pressure on Zodia and the tank. You're immediately taking out sort of the biggest piece of deterrent on those flags that you can. You know, keeping Zodia around the back end of Delta, it's not where he wants to be. He wants to be in the front end by Charlie, and he really wants to kind of stop those infantry pushing in. But that's not happening. He's having to fight on the back end. He's having to try and pick off guys running here with dynamite. And we've got JFro down the other side of Delta just giving those spawns up to the VnM guys, who are able to just keep respawning with more ammunition on those Panzerfaust. And we see there with Jukes managing to finish off Zodia. And that's the kind of the key play there. The infantry pushes back the tank. Your tank pushes up, acts as that spawn beacon, provides that support, and bada bing, bada boom, the flag is yours, Brett.
Yeah. Absolutely agree there. So we are just seeing this whittling down for the time being. VnM has pushed them all the way in the back of their own spawn, so it's just not a good place to be. And oh my god. Hitting the wrong buttons here on the spectator mode. I do apologize, guys. My voice here, my throat's just a little bit off here today, so it is going to be a bit scratchy, a little cough here and there. But right now we are going to be seeing Braveheart pushing back in onto that C flag, and they are going to be coming in with a massive force.
Yeah, and this is a player that you don't want to give any advantage to, because he will take it. And he'll make use of any head glitch and aggressive playstyle that he can get his hands on. If you give him room to move and you give him cover to sit in as well, there's nothing you could do. You have to hit him with those 2 players and sort of take him out. But he's doing a good job backing up his team here, pushing in. Really accurate fire coming down with the SF. And he's going to just keep holding down this lane, keep pushing those guys back, you know, doing massive amounts of damage. He gets shot in the back, so he's having to pull back, goes to do the turnaround, hold out the back for his teammates here, and unfortunately his teammates couldn't quite keep Spartan from shooting him. But see, Braveheart, really critical player there, really good anchor, can really hit those guys at a fair range with the accuracy. But Duke's looking to come up, get the kill there. Unfortunately, he can't quite finish it off. I mean, that's going to mean that Braveheart probably won't be able to get the revive. He's going to have to spawn. Duke's having to turn to face, and he just can't quite seem to finish off those kills, getting really good shots on target, but can't quite finish those up. But he's going to
say, interesting choice in weapons here. You know, not using the SGG, because typically you do see mostly just STG with the 3x scope being used on your assault classes. Not a whole lot else. But he's actually using the what is it? The
Sturmgewehr 1.5.
Yeah, Sturmgewehr 1.5, which I like that gun, but it just doesn't have, I don't think, the punch that STG does.
No, definitely not. And you saw it right there. You know, he got 2-3 headshots plus the body shots. If that was an SG, he would have easily got the kill. If that was a Tommy gun, if I'm honest, he probably would have got the kill. But I think it's a lot more reliable at the ranges that you're shooting at. I think he's more of a player that's going to be there to hit those guys down to half health and let your sort of really aggressive players finish off the kills. I think that's kind of the play style he's trying to slot into here. And that's why you always see him with someone like Braveheart as they push up. So I think the weapon choice is key, but it's also fitting into the role quite nicely.
So something that I do want to point out here is the lack of medics for really both teams. Take a look at how many assaults that we have on each of these squads. I mean, it is, I would say it's probably 80% assaults. You have one recon here and there, and then your supports to help out your tank. And it looks like, you know, medics were not really the focus, especially towards the tail end of this match. But I would have to say, I think that may be the reason why we saw a lack of smoke there as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely think it comes down to the engagement distances. You know, we saw players kind of struggle with the SMG style play in the first round because the engagement distances were much longer. They switched to those assault rifles, and and they're immediately getting those long-range kills. They're dealing the damage. They're able to seal cut players a lot easier, a lot more effectively. Obviously, players like Spartan, who will be playing as the medic and try and hold those close range areas, will definitely be doing his job well. And I think he's just going to be holding. Not much going on here. And I think that, the lack of smokes hasn't really made too much of a difference, if I'm honest, with a lot of these guys playing a lot longer range game.
Yeah. Well, that is going to be that. So it has been official. VeNoM did win. Congratulations to those guys. Second round came out to about a 15 ticket advantage there for VeNoM.
Only on esportbf.com.